Hey guys, Johnny the Realtor coming to you with another edition of Southeast Side San Antonio, episode 2, it seems, right? I hope you watched the last one. If you haven't, you should go check it out because it's pretty cool, especially if you're from the Southeast side. So I got to put on my glasses because it's old age. And so if you grew up on the Southeast side, you know this area or this Valero very well. This is Avondale and Goliad Road. And so we kind of left off in this area last time if you were watching. So I talked to you about how I rode my bike and made a fool out of myself. One time I got in trouble right here when I was first learning how to drive because I didn't know that you were supposed to stop for bus drivers even though they had a stop sign. I was a kid, so cut me some slack. All right, so, okay, this looks completely different now. I told you all I'm a San Antonio realtor. I do a lot of work on different parts of town, but I love to return to the Southeast side and show my clients different homes. There's a lot of new builds out there. In fact, right now I'm on the Southwest side, off of Southwest Military, looking at some properties. If you are from the Southeast side, you should know that a long time ago right here we go, my experts, there was something called McDuff Electronics. And this was actually a very steep hill that went down. It looks like they've since really flattened the terrain. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. But this was McDuff Electronics because I remember clearly walking down. Like I remember we walked down a certain way. Okay, so y'all probably know what I'm looking for here. There was something called Floyd's Burgers. And we used to spend a lot of time here. What? Okay, I think I remember the Rios, but wait, where is Floyd's? No, we got to keep going. I remember Rios because you could get a haircut and barbacoa there. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I like Rios barbacoa, and I also like that. So I came to this El Típico once, and we used to come here a lot in the 90s. We came back later. I think I liked it more in the 90s, and that's what I'll say about that. And so here it is. This is Floyd's Burgers. My gosh, when did this go out of business, folks? You need to chime in and tell me. I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Here you could get like 6 burgers for like $3 or something. That's all I remember about that place, but I remember you'd sit outside. I guess I can talk smack now because it's not around. I love Floyd's, but one time my sister and I came walking down Goliad Road. We were like really exhausted, and my sister was like, I really want a milkshake. We were like in like high school at that time. So she was like, I like their milkshakes. And they gave her what tasted like a Slim Fast. It was really hilarious. It was not very tasty. But you know what, folks? So I told you before I was a realtor, I was a historian. I taught history for a lot of years. I have some pictures that show the old Floyd's Burgers and what appears to be like a movie theater right here. Now, if my Southeast siders from back in the day can chime in and tell us just how true that is, I would love to know because I'm always wanting to learn new stuff. I actually used to live off of Prestwick for the longest time when I was a little boy. And right here, where the CVS pharmacy is, there actually used to be like a shopping center, like a type of shopping area. There was a lot of things, but one thing stood out. And if you are authentic Southeast sider, you know exactly what used to sit right here. And that was actually Taco Hut. Taco Hut was freaking amazing. Taco Hut was the place for tamales. It was amazing. And when I was a little kid in the 80s, I used to love to actually go there and play with my sister and play with my cousins or whoever I was with. And we spent lots of hours there. That was my... Man, when I was a kid on a Friday night watching the adults talk and us playing outside, that was so cool. And what happened is Albertsons wanted this property and they moved everybody out. There was even a TV repair shop because there was a time that we repaired TVs. Can you believe that? That's like really insane, but we did. And so, yeah, I took my TV there a couple of times. Before this Walgreens, it was actually a bank. NBC Bank. Guys, my memory is insane. How do I remember this crap? This is all worthless crap. And for those of you that don't know, it's my understanding that the Bill Miller #1, as in like this is the #1 Bill Miller, is right here. So I remember Mr. Bill Miller came out here and they had a big old party, like a parade right here. This used to be called Offer Street and they renamed it to Bill Miller Lane. And they celebrated, and there's pictures. If you go to that restaurant, there's pictures in there of that event. If they're still there, I actually left the southeast side in the year 2012. For some reason, they've never done anything with that lot that we just passed. So right now, I am cruising through Southcross. I'm actually approaching New Braunfels. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the area, this area hasn't really changed much. I know that there's, some businesses here. I know we're like Rhodes Driving School. I think they're still there. But yeah, I think if you are from the southeast side, you probably know where I'm headed. I'm literally getting to, I believe it's Gevers. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. Okay, lots of history right here, folks. We can stay here for a while. So this McDonald's, before it became the way it looks today, it had the old school, like with the bridge, everything that would not work today for kids, right? Because they would find many defects on it, but we loved it. We were from the 80s, and we had like that burger that was, I think it was like Mayor McBurger or something like that. And you could really burn your behind, like if it was a hot day, but it was pretty cool. And then you had like the bridge. There was a bridge there that often would break, and we just dealt with it, right? Like the kids would fall and stuff, but it was pretty cool. It was fun times. But I told you last time that we talked, I showed you where I worked at churches. Well, this is officially my first job. I worked here when I was 15. I sort of finagled my forms and said I was 16 at the time. Guys, I worked here for 1 week, and the manager was a nightmare, and I couldn't stand him, and he upset me a lot because after 3 days, he wanted me to know all the burgers. Like, he was very specific and very ugly and rude and whatever. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. Like, I'm not going to be able to memorize these burgers. Like, I just got really flustered. I was a 15-year-old kid. Like, I didn't understand. And so I quit. And that was the end of that. But a long time ago, there's so much history here, folks. So we can now say this Taco Cabana has been sitting here forever. But the reality is, if you're my age, if you're 45, you know that this used to be a garage a long time ago. And this actually used to be McCreless Mall, of course. This was one of the corners of what we would call McCreless Mall. So a long time ago, for those of you that aren't old enough to remember, where this Cash Pawn is, there actually used to be a video store here. And I used to rent VHSs. Can you believe that was a thing? We used to rent movies at that time, right here. It was called like Video Exchange or something like that. And we used to get that all the time there. I always looked forward to that. This new thing called VHS. You would pop it in and you'd play movies, and nothing could be better than that. And if you said the word streaming, we'd be like, that sounds like something you do with water. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So most of this facade hasn't changed a bit. In fact, I'm impressed to see that Foot Locker is still sitting there. It's been there for quite some time. So I wish that you all had a chance to see McCreless Mall. It was pretty cool. It looks nothing like that today. I mean, if you look at this area, which is now, I'm not really sure what they call this. I think it's like H-E-B Shopping Center, but I know that they carry the McCreless name, which is pretty cool because at least it's still a McCreless area, and that sounds kind of cool to say. But I will tell you, a long time ago with this area, there was a lot of flooding in the mall, and I think it almost seemed like it was something that was inevitable, that the mall looked like it sat in a type of it almost looked like a valley, or it looked strange. Like, I'm sure those of you that shop here now, like you come here all the time and you notice how flat it is right now. It wasn't like that. In fact, I remember, those of you can back me up, that we used to come here back in the day. There was an entrance somewhere right here that would go into McCreless Mall. I kid you not, it would dip down. You took a dip. If you were on a bike, you were going to get some traction down that hill. It was quite a dip. So yeah, it was. It had some problems. And if you look back here at the back where H-E-B is at, like, you can see some of that original hill where it's kind of left there. But H-E-B did a pretty fine job of like leveling that area, because it was not leveled back in the day. It was something else. This library has been sitting here forever on Ada Street. I've actually seen it get remodeled. And I know a long time ago, this brown building used to be like AT&T or something or other back in the day. But yeah, H-E-B, I was so happy when H-E-B bought the lot and they did so much with it. It was great. for our southeast side neighborhoods. I mean, we had a chance to find a shopping center because McCreless had been out for a while. A long time ago, folks, if you are authentic Southeast Sider, you know that this was the place to be on a Friday for some time. This was Little Caesars Pizza. I hope you know that. I hope you remember that. It was pretty cool. Little Caesars Pizza back in the day. We used to always go there on Friday nights. I think it was like $5 for like a ridiculous amount of pizza. It was crazy. So right now I'm approaching Fair Avenue, I believe. Fair and New Braunfels. This was our place to go for Whataburger if we wanted it. I told y'all a while back I lived on Goliad and Pecan Valley, and that's where you went, to this Whataburger, because we lost our Whataburger that was right there on Goliad. So a long time ago, this actually used to be like a video store. HEB was, hold up, let me make sure. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was right there, and HEB was somewhere in here. I don't remember exactly where it was because the facade looks totally different. But this right here with these interesting little grooves or whatever I don't know what you call those guys. Don't correct me on that. But I know that the palos that are the columns that are right there, that has always been there. That's how I know that was Video Exchange, which at that time HEB was like, they were working on having a video section, and then the video section turned into its own big location. Hollywood Video is what it was called. And it was right here. And it might have even been further out this way, but I know for sure it's on this side because I used to play right here while my mom was inside. And speaking of video stores, folks, I used to love... Okay, so we always went to Hollywood Video. If you remember, it was like 3 videos, right? Like the red was $3. The yellow was $2, and I believe the blue was $1. So my mom always allowed me to get the $1 one, and yeah, she was allowed to get the $3 one. So seems unfair, but whatever. So, but speaking of, wow, there's a Chick-fil-A there now. That's cool. So a long time ago, we used to come here where Frost is at, in this vicinity right here. Now I'm at Highway 37 and New Braunfels, right here. This right here, which I don't know what it is now, but this used to be Blockbuster Video. And I used to love when they first opened that place. It was so cool. I just remember like those summer nights when it was open and us going there, and you know, just the experience of being there real late at night and getting ice cream at HEB and coming here. And I remember it was really nice and cold because we didn't have air conditioning in our house, so we wanted to stay there forever, and just such fun, innocent times. If you are authentically Southeast Sider, you know that right here, where this Sonic is at, this used to be Alfonso's Mexican restaurant. And I think Taco Cabana kind of bumped them out of San Antonio. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I remember that Alfonso's was like a big deal, and then it wasn't. I don't know where it went. But man, folks, on a Friday night, again, when I was a kid, this was the place to hang out. I loved being right here. And Alfonso's also had a little playground, I think. And I remember one year we went to the Fiesta Flambeau Parade. And as you know, if you're from San Antonio, that's the night parade in April. And it was so much fun. And then we came to eat at Alfonso's right here at this corner. And it was a lot of fun. Today, of course, it's a Sonic. That Sonic has been there for quite some time. And I am learning in real time that this is a Burger Boy. That used to be Burger King. I wonder when Burger King went out of business. So basically what we've done here is we've gone in a square. McCreless Mall, well, what is today HEB McCreless, however you want to call it, it's pretty much one section. And it's a really great area to shop. And there's a lot of different centers there now. And so hopefully one of these days I can talk to you about McCreless Mall, because there's a lot of memories here. I wish that we had more pictures, but back in the 80s and 90s, we didn't really take pictures like that. But I have found some every now and then. If you have any memories of it, there are so many places that I can just start listing off the top of my head. But that mall basically sat on all of this that we're walking past right now. It was a huge facility. By the time the 90s and the early 2000s came around, that mall was done, you know, but man, in the 80s, like listening to that 80s music, like walking through the the little dome area that was in the center of the mall. I remember I was there when they were building the dome, because before there was no dome there. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I'd love to hear your memories about that. I want to hear more about what you think, folks. Of course, you know I'm always here for your real estate needs. The Southeast Side is a beautiful place that continues to grow and grow and grow more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to chime in. I also want to hear a lot about your memories and your thoughts about this area that we call Southeast San Antonio. So until next time, folks, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day. Guess what? You're at the end of the video and you didn't fall asleep. That is great, because as you can see, I have a really monotone voice. But if you're awake and you actually like this video, please subscribe for more related content. I promise not to put you to sleep. Have a great rest of the day and thanks for watching.